Let's mold in the Central Committee. Let's cringe in the Central Committee. Let's bog in the Central Committee right now.
And by 2010, there was the disillusionment that became the Tea Party movement and the devastating midterm elections. And ultimately, that disillusionment led into, that really created the conditions for the Trump presidency. So the reason this podcast is relevant now
and by the way, Chad, I want to mention this about the Tea Party movement. Have you guys seen the speech that started the Tea Party movement? Have you all seen the speech that started the Tea Party movement? And it's comical when you see it. This is what started the Tea Party.
This is America. How many of you people want to pay for your neighbor's mortgage that has an extra bathroom and can't pay their bills? Raise their hand. How about we all... President Obama, are you listening?
How about we all stop paying our mortgage? It's a moral hazard.
Hey, Rick, how about the notion that Wilbur pointed out you can go down to 2% on the mortgage.
You could go down to minus 2%
and still have 40% and still have 40% not be able to do it. So why are they in the house? Why are we trying to keep them in the house?
Mr. Summers is a great economist, but boy, I'd love the answer to that one.
Jason,
you get people fired up.
Jason, you want to?
We're thinking of having a Chicago Tea Party in July. All you capitalists that want to show up to Lake Michigan, I'm going to start organizing.
What are you dumping in? What are you dumping in this time?
That was the Tea Party speech, which was the idea that Barack Obama was going to support homeowners directly and keep them in their homes. And guess what happened? That never happened. The big banks, Wall Street investment banks, got massive bailouts of their toxic assets, were purchased by the federal government. Millions of people were evicted. But guess what? The Tea Party started anyway. The rant about helping people stay in their homes never happened. Barack Obama capitulated and helped the banks and sent people out on their ass. And guess what? The Tea Party happened anyway. Wasn't that speech rambling? Because they were trying to do what was known as a cram down. I'm not going to get into the weeds, but basically the idea that you would revalue mortgages based on what the actual current market value was of the houses so that people could stay in their homes and their principal would be crammed down to an actual value of what the houses were worth, so that the people would get a reduction in their payment and they wouldn't be underwater tens of thousands of dollars, right? And then the banks would, the bonds would become refreshed because a number of people would start to be able to pay, they would be able to afford to pay their mortgage, so their mortgage wouldn't go into default. And then the federal government would step in and provide liquidity support for the banks themselves, who had lended out a whole bunch of money to make, and so people would keep their homes and the banks would remain solvent. Actually, what ended up happening is everybody lost their homes and the banks got a bunch of bundles and bundles of cash, and they got to foreclose on all those homes. So they would have gone belly up, the banks, but they got free unlimited cash from the government, and they got to take everybody's homes too. Talking to traders on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. That's America. The traders on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange.
How about we all... President Obama, are you listening?
But it's really telling because it shows how helping people was manipulated into and portrayed as hurting the winners and helping the, quote, losers. It's turning direct aid to people into something that was bad. And right-wing media did a hell of a job doing that. And it was really, and it was obviously amplified by the Glenn Becks of the world. And it's really something pernicious in our politics, that the government doing direct aid to people is somehow
Well, we did help the losers. We helped all the big banks. We bailed them out. They were all losers. They were all going to go belly up. But the thing is, we couldn't let the big banks fail because that would cause a financial crisis, and then all companies would fail because they didn't have access to their money. They wouldn't have revolving credit. And then all these banks go belly up. Then all your manufacturing companies go belly up, and all your content creation companies and your service companies, and everybody's bankrupt because the banks literally stole all their money and are in default and don't have their deposits anymore. So we have to save the banks. So we saved the losers, and we fucked over the regular people who did, God forbid, the thing of borrowing money to buy a house.